Good morning, students. I am Riya Sinha, your SST teacher. Today we are going to continue our chapter number 4 of geography, that is air. In this chapter we have already discussed composition of the atmosphere and structure of the atmosphere, in which we have learnt about different layers of the atmosphere like troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere and exosphere. So today we are going to continue this chapter and start a new topic, that is weather and climate. See the introduction first. Some days are sunny, some days are cloudy, some days are rainy. In rainy days we used to do cultivation, in sunny day we used to play. So all days differ. We see different weather reports in newspaper, radios, television every day. Objectives of these are, at the end of this topic, you will be able to define weather and climate, understand a weather report, see weather. The day-to-day condition of the atmosphere at a place with respect to the temperature, humidity, rainfall, wind, speed, etc. is called the weather at that place. Temperature, humidity, rainfall and wind speed are the causes by which weather of a particular place vary. The day-to-day condition of the atmosphere at a place with respect to the temperature, humidity, rainfall, wind, speed, etc. is called weather at that place. Weather changes due to the wind speed, and because of that we see different atmospheric condition per day. And sun is the cause of variation in weather. Energy absorbed and reflected by the earth's surface, oceans and the atmosphere causes the changes in weather. Some of the causes of changing weather are deviation in the earth's orbit, continental drift and greenhouse effect are the causes of change in weather. We used to know weather report also. See here, a weather report is given of different days like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Different types of weather condition are also symbolized here, like some days are rainy, some are cloudy. Different temperatures are given here. Main thing is the maximum temperature of the day occurs generally in the afternoon and the minimum during the night. Some days are good for us and some are bad. Some of the weather we like the most and some we hate it. Hygrometer is an instrument through which we used to know the weather report. The normal pattern of weather found in a particular area over a long period of time is known as the climate. The normal pattern of weather means average weather condition of a particular area is known as climate. Climate can't change day to day. It is the average annual atmospheric condition of a particular area during a particular time. Now see summary. Let's summarize what we have learned. The day-to-day condition of the atmosphere at a particular place in terms of temperature, humidity, rainfall, wind speed, etc. is called the weather at that place. The average weather pattern taken over a long time, say 25 years, is called the climate of the place. Now we will continue the second topic of this chapter, that is temperature. The temperature is the degree of hotness and coldness of the air, or we can say the degree of hotness and coldness of the air is known as temperature. Our Earth has no light and heat of its own. It receives heat from the sun. The surface temperature of the sun is estimated to 6000 degrees Celsius. The sun continuously radiates its energy known as solar radiation. The Earth receives only a fraction of the total solar radiation, mainly a very few amount of the sun's energy. The amount of solar radiation coming down to the earth is known as insolation. On the basis of heat received by the earth, we may divide the earth into the following heat zones: torrid zone, temperate zone, and frigid zone. See, torrid zone lies between the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn on both sides of the equator. Here, the sun's rays are almost vertical throughout the year. This zone receives maximum heat and is the hottest zone of the earth. Next is temperate zone. The temperate zone lies between the Tropic of Cancer and Arctic Circle in the northern hemisphere, and between the Tropic of Capricorn and Antarctic Circle in the southern hemisphere. In this zone, the sun's rays never fall vertically. This zone is neither too hot nor too cold. Next is frigid zone. Frigid zone lies to the north of Arctic Circle in the northern hemisphere and to the south of Antarctic Circle in the southern hemisphere. Here, the sun's rays are very slanting. This zone receives very less amount of heat. Hence, this is a very cold part of the earth. Heating and cooling of the atmosphere. Sun is the only source of atmospheric heat, but it hardly affects the atmosphere directly. The high mountain summits are often covered with snow while plains are warm. The atmosphere is heated in the following ways: through radiation, through conduction, through convection, and through advection. Heating and cooling of the atmosphere through radiation. Radiation is the direct heating of an object by the transmission of heat waves. The atmosphere absorbs a little amount of incoming solar radiation, but it largely absorbs the outgoing radiation from the Earth's surface. Thus, the atmosphere is heated more by terrestrial radiation rather than by incoming solar radiation. Conduction is the process by which the heat is transmitted to matter by molecular activities. When the lower layer of the atmosphere, which is in touch with the ground, comes in contact with the upper layer, the heat particles move from the lower to the upper layer. Thus, the atmosphere gets heated. It is the transfer of heat by the movement of a mass or substance from one place to another. When the air in the lower layer of the atmosphere gets heated, it expands and moves upwards, and the air from different sides come to take its place. Thus, convection currents are formed by constant rising of air. This heats up the atmosphere. See through advection. When the wind moves from a warm place to the cold place, increases the temperature, and when a wind moves from a cooler region towards the warm area, it reduces the temperature. The temperature of the atmosphere cools down or heats up due to the horizontal movement of the wind. Factors controlling temperature. The temperature is the degree of hotness or coldness. The atmospheric temperature does not remain the same everywhere. It varies from place to place because it depends upon a large number of factors. They are latitude of a place, altitude of a place, distribution of land and sea, ocean currents, vegetation cover. The angle of incidence of sun's rays is not the same everywhere, and due to the spherical shape of the earth. The angle of incidence is high on and around the equator and goes on decreasing towards the poles. The altitude of a place controls the temperature. This is because atmosphere is heated indirectly by the heat of the earth, that is terrestrial radiation. The places at lower altitudes or plains are warms. Factors controlling temperature, second is distribution of land and sea. During the daytime, earth gets heated quickly than the seawater, and during the night, land releases heat more quickly than the seawater. See, next is ocean currents. The warm ocean currents along the coast help to increase the temperature of coastal area, while cold ocean currents help to decrease the temperature of a coastal area. Next is vegetation cover. The forest cover and other plant life absorbs much of the heat received from the sun. The vegetation also prevents quick radiation from the earth. Thus, the desert areas having no vegetation gets heated more quickly during the day and at night. They release the heat and get cooler quickly during night time. Now, measurement of temperature. Temperature is measured by an instrument called thermometer. It is a narrow glass tube which is graduated and filled with mercury or alcohol. It works on the principle that mercury expands when heated and contracts when cooled. There are two different scales for measuring temperature, Fahrenheit and Celsius or centigrade. Some of the other weather instruments are thermometer, which measures the temperature as we have already discussed. Next is barometer, which measures atmospheric pressure. Next is rain gauge, which measures the amount of rainfall. And the last weather instrument which is given in your book is wind vane, which shows the direction of the wind. Okay, now I hope you all understood the covered topics well. Thank you. Have a nice day.